was him. The whole time, Martin fucking Hatch has been sabotaging me from the inside. He destroyed the lab containing my only treatments. I can feel my sickness spreading by the minute. Without those treatments, it's only a matter of time until... He's had his hands in every phase of Monarch's development, overseen our R&D division for years. Why? Why now? This can't be about control. He wants control of Monarch. He is using this company for his own agenda, building towards something. All those secret projects I granted him, what has he been up to? We will find him, and I will put an end to this once and for all.
You took the one thing Mr. Serene needed to survive, Dr. Amaral. That made you priority one.
Yeah, they made that clear. Monarch lined every escape route with barricades, roadblocks. I had to get to the mainland, but I couldn't do it by car. Needed a new plan.
All right, let's go.
Beth, I think I'm gonna need a ride. The streets are too hot.
All right, where do you want me?
I'll let you know as soon as I find some higher ground and get a good look at the situation on the bridge. I think it might be a no-go. Gotta get to higher
I'm looking at the bridge
ground.
right now. It's a lot of Monarch. I don't know, maybe you could sneak across?
Well, maybe.
Or I could pick you up. Let me know. I'm pretty exposed out here, so try to make it fast.
I'll be a lot better when you get me on that boat. Monarch's right on my ass. I'm not exactly making friends out here. How's Dr. Amaral?
Still kicking and screaming. How long do you need to get here?
That depends. Let me check. Paul. What the actual fuck? Better get inside before the chopper spots me.
Still there?
Yeah, just looking for a viewpoint.
So, we don't know where he is. We can't find him. So we need to look into a replacement.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs. Ah! There is always lots of the Kratzu things happening in Gitu of Night Springs.
Thank you.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs.
We know the old dance, the fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street. But the tables can be but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous consumer may find himself the consumable resource. Do that again.
And yet, that is the fate that awaits you in Night Fringe.
It's Night Springs.
Night Cringe.
Springs.
Bright Blings.
Night Springs.
Fright. Whinge.
Jesus.
We know the old dance. The fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street, but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous consumer may find himself the consumable resource in Night Springs.
Right things.
Still have no visual on Joyce or Wilder. Doing another sweep.
I can't stay here long, Jack. You're gonna need to be quick.
Yeah, about that.
Bad news?
Reoccurring theme of the night. I'm looking at the bridge right now. If I go anywhere near that thing, there's gonna be innocent people caught in the crossfire.
All right. Any bright
Thanks for your
ideas?
patience, folks. Have you on your way again soon.
Let me see. There's a pier under the bridge. You should be able to meet me there with the boat. Giant gas sign out front. Can't miss it.
It's nice and bright for Monarch to see.
There's not a lot of options. Switching to Monarch frequencies. Be in touch soon.
And I'll be there in a few minutes. Don't stand me up.
Okay, how are we getting down there? Where's the fire pole?
For those of you just tuning in, the manhunt continues as authorities search for Jack Joyce, the suspect in last night's university terror attack. Joyce may also have been involved in a firefight at the Monarch Mansion on Gull Island approximately 30 minutes ago. On the line, we have Ken Bukowski, a bridge operator for the Port Donnelly Bridge. Ken, what can you tell us about the situation out there?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my little guy. Hey, Ben, hope you're listening.
Isn't it past his bedtime?
He'll be up reading those Hunger Games books if I know him. But, yeah. I'm just out here in the control booth overlooking the bridge. Monarch's got a roadblock set up, checking all the cars as they go through. It's all very well organized. I got a nice young fellow from Monarch up here, Darren, doing some kind of lookout from above. He's not a coffee drinker, so there must be something wrong with him. No, but we're in good hands. Even though it's not cops at the roadblock.
Yes, Ken, Monarch is working to assist the police in the hunt for Jack Joyce. I know some people have asked, does Monarch have the authority to do this? Well, my question is, if not Monarch, then who? I think we need to recognize that we are currently in a state of crisis. Why isn't Joyce behind bars? If the police are overwhelmed, then I say we take all the help we can get. Monarch is the only thing keeping this city safe. Am I right, Ken?
I guess that makes sense.
You bet it does. I suggest we stop asking why they're helping us and start helping them. But that's just me. We're opening the lines for your thoughts, Riverport, right after this.
Excuse me, sir. We're helping the police looking for a terrorist. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Is that the guy who blew up the library? James Joyce? Jack Joyce, yeah. You see anything out of the ordinary?
Well, I mean, there's a sports car parked in the streets back there. It's kind of wrecked. It's a little unusual.
Please, show me where. Right now.
Damn it. Better hurry.
All units, be advised that Martin Hatch has been compromised.
Please talk to one of our security personnel if you have anything to report.
Beth went out the window as soon as the stutter hit.
Her boat couldn't get to you.
No, but it gave me an opportunity to climb up on the bridge and cross it. Slip right past Monarch, more or less undetected.
I should get up on that bridge and make my way across it before this stutter ends.
The scene on the bridge was unreal. They weren't cops. They had no authority to do this. But the Monarch PR machine had done its job. Here they were, the heroes protecting everybody.
And you were the terrorist.
Yeah.
This Joyce guy. Listen, if you see him, don't try to approach him. Just call the number, okay?
It's even worse than my passport picture. Man, I'm not the one you should be scared of, guy.
Jack Joyce mugshot. Wanted. Jack Joyce. Subject is armed and extremely dangerous.
Super cool, man. This is going on Facebook right now.
Monarch Notice Board. Have you seen these two? Charlie Wincott, Fiona Miller. Sought in connection with recent terror events. Do not approach. Please contact Monarch Solutions with any information as to their whereabouts.
Just be patient, folks.
Monarch Field Orders Update. Martin Hatch. All field operatives be advised that Martin Hatch is now considered a compromised asset. All orders and instructions from him, new or existing, have been rendered invalid and have been countermanded. Please contact your supervisor for further information as required. Hatch is responsible for the destruction of vital medical supplies, involved in the deaths of numerous Monarch personnel, and may be collaborating with Jack Joyce. The investigation is ongoing, but Martin Hatch is to be detained with maximum force if encountered. If he cannot be captured, he should be considered a priority target who should under no circumstances be allowed to escape. Take no chances. He is considered to be extremely dangerous.
Making sure everybody's safe.
Okay, good. Just gotta make it across this damn bridge and I'll be clear. This is so bad.
I knew I'd be dead if the stutter collapsed while I was in the frozen crash. I had to reach solid ground, and the deck of the cargo ship was my best bet. Just had to find a way down.
Now what?
Frozen crash was a mess. Somehow, I had to find my way across, hope for the best. Downwards, towards the cargo ship. The route down wasn't exactly user-friendly. The fracture was getting much worse. Timelines getting scrambled. Caught in violent loops, off sync, crashing into each other. This was what the end of time would look like. Everything was broken, in chaos, frozen, and no one would know.
Come on, come on, come on.
Was escalating. Objects were moving out of time, out of order, entire timelines overlapping. And it was going to get worse, unless we could stop it.
Let's talk about Serene's condition. You're aware of how it started?
Uh-huh. Ground zero.
Monarch developed a treatment to curb his symptoms. Our reports state that you destroyed those treatments, rendering him defenseless as his sickness spread.
That's what the reports say, yeah. But I've never stepped foot in that lab.
You have no way of proving that.
Now, I find it curious. Dr. Amaral was working on a permanent cure for Paul's condition. But she was ordered to stop before research was complete. Sounds like somebody on the inside didn't want him to get better.
Sounds like you have an interest in this cure. It makes me wonder if you know anybody else suffering from the same symptoms. It makes me wonder if that is why you're truly here.
Or maybe I just really like the coffee here.
The power you're wielding. You need to hand this technology over to Monarch. I've prepared for what happens next.
You say you're prepared, but no part of this plan of yours involves stopping it from happening.
Even if I fix William's machine, what could you possibly hope to achieve? The end of time is coming. There's no way to—
Hey! This isn't a debate. I just watched a ship fast forward through a fucking bridge. Time is running out, and the fracture's getting worse by the minute.
And it cannot be stopped. Paul has been to the end of time. He's witnessed it firsthand. Can't you see? We prepared for what's next out of necessity.
Your research is based on work by William Joyce. You respected him. He knew that the fracture would occur, but he also knew that it could be fixed. Will built a way to stop the fracture. This. The countermeasure. We're traveling to the past to retrieve it. You can help us get there faster. Or you can agree to disagree.
I'll have to run diagnostics on the machine. I can't promise anything before that.
Amy, take Amaral to the machine. Keep an eye on her.
Sure thing. Okay, Doctor, let's go. And I can see right through you. Don't try anything stupid. You will regret it.
Jack, before we head downstairs, we have to talk about something.
Beth's 2010 plan. Beth's charts and plans for the plan to travel to 2010 and steal the countermeasure.
Okay, what's up?
It's about the plan. If Amaral gets the machine working...
We go back to yesterday and undo all of this.
Listen, in the video Will left for me, he said the countermeasure was stolen from his workshop on July 4th, 2010. He also said I took it. Maybe I did, Jack. We have a time machine.
You're saying we go to 2010. We steal it.
If Will was right, that would mean it wouldn't be a change. We take the countermeasure, bring it to the present, fix the fracture, save the world.
Okay. Explain to me why that's a better plan than just going back to yesterday and preventing all this from happening in the first place.
Because I'm afraid that based on what I know about time travel, we can't change anything. The past has already happened. We can't change it. But my way, we don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my plan still feels simpler. Let's just get the machine working. This was the guy delivering the speech at the gala.
Martin Hatch Dossier. What we know, facts gathered by Fiona Miller so far, joined Monarch 2001, became Serene's chief advisor around 2007. No records before 2001. Who was he? Where did he come from? Working against Monarch. Possible links to the following: death of Dr. Kim, unconfirmed, alone with Dr. Kim at time of death. Death occurred just as Kim was on the verge of a solution to Serene's time sickness. University time machine sabotage, unconfirmed. Miscalculations on purpose? Hatch seen in the lab. Assistance in Sophia's kidnapping, confirmed. Distracted Monarch while kidnapping occurred. Knew we were coming, did not alert Serene. Destruction of Serene's remaining treatments, unconfirmed. Was present outside Dr. Kim's lab when lab was destroyed. Accused Sophia of being responsible for this. Helped Charlie Wincott escape, confirmed. Currently helping Charlie reach Monarch Tower undetected. Disobeyed direct orders from Paul Serene. Wants access to CFR. Potentially desires to sabotage lifeboat protocol. Sabotaging Serene. Motive. Secretly assuring Serene's downfall. Wants to take over Monarch? Why? Sabotaging Monarch's survival plan from within. No possible reason for this. Doesn't believe countermeasure could stop fracture, not a potential ally. Works for Monarch, therefore believes end of time is inevitable. Then why attempt to sabotage lifeboat protocol?
Name's Martin Hatch. According to Monarch Radio, he's been deemed a traitor. Sabotaged a Monarch lab.
Potential ally?
Not even close.
Dr. Amaral seems convinced that Paul's been to the end of time. Do you think that's true?
Can't be. Otherwise, trying to prevent it would be pointless.
Why?
Because it's already happened.
Hello, Riverport. Well, it's been a rough night for us. The collision at the Port Donnelly Bridge that has claimed multiple lives is still being investigated. At least a dozen people are confirmed dead, and investigators say they expect to find more bodies, some of which are predicted to be found in the cars at the bottom of the river. The cause of the accident remains unclear. Adding to the confusion are conflicting reports from shipboard personnel and those on dry land. the captain of the cargo ship insists that the bridge was up and the route was clear. However, some people shoreside claim the cargo ship was approaching the bridge at high speed, despite the bridge having not yet been raised. Others express surprise at the ship's presence, claiming that they do not see its approach at all. The investigation is still ongoing. We'll keep you posted. Now, obviously, this disaster will affect us in more ways than one. With the Port Donnelly Bridge out of commission, heavy congestion is expected on the other routes across the river, and we now have reports coming in of multiple car crashes all over Riverport. So you will want to reserve enough time for your trip today if you're traveling by car. Stay safe out there. Hopefully we can all get back to normal soon.
Let's see how Dr. Amaral's doing with the time machine.
Yeah. Did she find anything?
I'm not sure. I'll go check.
Jack, you've got to see this.
Hey, shouldn't you be keeping an eye on Amaral?
Okay, but first, you need to check out the intel I uncovered.
All right. What is all this?
I uploaded all the files I stole on that USB stick from the Monarch security station.
You should probably see how
I
Dr.
also
Amaral's
found
doing.
video of your brother. It's on that TV. You're gonna want to see it. Everything else I printed out and put on tables over there.
But what's on the computer?
Monarch files I uploaded, and I kept the juiciest stuff on screen for you.
February 28th, 2013, 8:35 a.m. From Sofia Amaral, Dream Journal 5. To Manuel Peretta. Dr. Peretta, I am attaching Paul Serene's most recent entry in his dream journal. I am growing increasingly concerned with the meaning behind these dreams, but I need a second opinion. I can treat Paul's sickness. Really, as far as I can determine, the chronon syndrome is more of a metaphysical condition than an actual medical issue. But I'm a physicist. I'm very much out of my depth with all this. This exercise was meant to alleviate stress, to ease Paul's symptoms, but so far it has resulted in the opposite. Time is of the essence. His condition is getting worse by the day. Dr. Sofia Amaral, Head of Research. To Sofia Amaral. From Paul Serene. Date February 28th, 2013, 6:22 a.m. Subject Dream Journal 5. My 5th entry. I recall moving through a wheat field that once belonged to my grandparents. I pressed the wheat stalks to the side with my hands, softly sifting through them at first, but as I pressed forward, the stalks began to warp and curl around my arms, providing resistance to my every move. The entire field began to solidify into an unbreakable material, with my body entangled in the mess. I desperately tried to pull myself free, but every movement led to a burning sensation. The world desaturated. Time stopped. I heard the unmistakable sound of my greatest fear approaching. Shifters. They emerged from all sides, surrounding me. I looked into the distance and saw a blurry figure approaching. He tried to yell, but the words wouldn't escape his throat, instead transforming into an endless shriek pulsing through my ears. His every movement and sound transformed into an agonizing discomfort all throughout my body, until it became completely unbearable. The pain trumped logic. I needed to make it stop. I needed to make it all stop. I grew violent, blindly lashing out at the figure, tearing him apart. I needed to destroy the source of motion and sound that caused me such discomfort. The pain stopped as I took the figure's life, and as he died, his identity became clear. It was me.
I had become the very threat that I once feared. But I did not fear anymore. I felt something very clear, very pure. I turned around to discover Jack behind me. He didn't move, but I could somehow understand his intent. He welcomed me. Every misunderstanding, all the pain we had caused one another, was forgotten. We were part of a higher consciousness. I heard a voice behind me, Dr. Kim. He joined us. He told me that time was once the fire in which we burned. He told me we would burn no more.
Is the city still hunting for me?
In full force. There's an entire webpage dedicated to potential Jack Joyce sightings. So I've been filling it in with false leads for fun. Do you want to pitch in?
Post that I was spotted in the back of a catering van somewhere.
You can do better than that. But okay, I'll let them know.
Okay. The date is... It's February 28th.
Jesus, Will.
1999. William Joyce.
1999.
After months
First experiment.
arduous work, my machine is finally ready for human testing. Ready is defined by me, since ready is obviously a relative term when you're dealing with the deformation of the chronon field and recreating of black holes' mass density by tangent. Okay, in short summary, I built a time machine, and it works. I'm gonna prove it, or die. Okay, just need to make some final preparations. When I enter the machine, I will travel clockwise around the corridor. Okay. Core is active. Chronon levels are stable. Travel clockwise around the corridor, exiting back into the same location in the near future. Oh. This clock is set to my watch. Now, when I exit the machine, there should be a significant difference in time between my watch and the clock in this room. Corridor is locked in place. Okay, setting the date to 5 minutes to the future for the first test. Now, admittedly, traveling to the past would be much more impressive, but I can travel backwards in time only as far as the first activation of the machine's core, which is, well, now. Okay, machine's ready. Monitor is stable. What I'm about to do is gonna change the very fabric of the corridor. I don't remember.
Was that Paul?
That's how he arrived in the past.
How's that possible? It wasn't even the same time machine he entered at the university.
That's one question I still don't have an answer for.
Monarch Solutions, 3-phase plan, table of contents. Phase 1, building an empire. February 28, 1999 to July 4, 2010. Formation of Monarch Solutions. Lucrative investments. Global expansion. Employee recruitment. Phase 2, preparing for the future. July 5, 2010 to October 8, 2016. Ground Zero buyout. CFR preparation. Chronon tech development. Militarization. Phase 3, the lifeboat protocol. October 9, 2016 to end of time. Time machine core heist. Chronon tech rollout. Remove threats to lifeboat protocol. Initiate lifeboat.
Serene's original manifesto for Monarch.
They had us practically memorize this.
He actually believes he's doing the right thing.
It's because he doesn't think the fracture can be stopped. And he's wrong.
Monarch Mission Statement, 1999. Monarch Solutions, Mission Statement, by Paul Serene, December 12, 1999. Limited distribution, for approved employees only. I have seen the path ahead, and I know it will be hard. I have founded Monarch Solutions to bring together those who will walk it with me, the elite few whose skill, dedication, and passion will live on when everything else ends. To that end, 1. We will work under my guiding vision of the future, my knowledge of what is coming. We accept that we cannot change our fate, nor can we avoid it. It is a harsh truth, but it is the truth. We will accept it and its full implications, but we will not deviate from our course, nor give in to despair, nor give up the fight. Those of us who share in this knowledge, who learn the triumphs and tragedies of the days and years to come, will look past them and find ways to turn them to our advantage. The gray, uncertain area beyond what is known will be where we build our empire, and we build it on the hope that we can persevere, that the end isn't our end, that we can still succeed. 2. We will expand Monarch's influence and power in all possible spheres: financial, political, cultural, medical, technological, military, to the best of our ability. This is a goal unto itself. We will need to be in a position of exceptional resources and ability to act when the time comes. We will build. We will seek success and profit not for the sake of wealth and fame, but for the sake of preparedness. 3. We will develop science and technology to counter a very specific set of circumstances. This will require extensive research and experimentation, as well as a tremendous financial cost. We will not be daunted by these challenges. We will complete our work. We will not compromise. We recognize that sacrifice is required, and we are willing to pay the cost to meet our goals. There is no alternative to this. Doubt, qualms, and sentiment are luxuries we cannot afford. Whatever we have to do is a lesser evil than the extinction of the entire human race, and to pretend otherwise is weakness. Nothing in the history of our planet has been as important as this. Nothing we have accomplished as a species matters if we fail in our mission. We will not fail. There will be many challenges in the years ahead. I know what's coming. It can't be averted. There's no escaping it. But we can survive it, and we can overcome it, and we will. I am dedicating myself, this company, and every shred of willpower at my disposal to that mission. I expect the same from those who join me on it. Paul Serene.
The lifeboat.
Yeah. Well, according to Monarch Communications, Paul Serene just activated that thing.
Far sooner than they were supposed to.
What does that mean?
Means we have less time than I hoped.
On the Unique Nature of the Lifeboat Protocol by Dr. Sophia Amaral, August 18th, 2016. While the Lifeboat Protocol is fairly straightforward on the surface, it's important that the people involved with the project understand how it radically differs from other survival scenarios against so-called apocalyptic threats. Stutter-proofing. A traditional bunker built to protect the occupants from an environmental hazard, for instance, a chemical attack or nuclear fallout, is typically sealed airtight, and the occupants have their own electricity, air supply, provisions, etc. The bunker's interior is isolated from the outside environment. But the lifeboat's design is different. It's not actually sealed because it doesn't have to be. It does have strong walls and protected access points, but the outside environment is not the problem. It's the lack of the Meyer-Joyce field that enables time to exist that makes the outside hazardous. From a technological standpoint, these differences make the lifeboat's operating principles quite different, particularly with regards to maintenance. Compared to, say, the failure of the life support system in a hermetically sealed survival space, such as a bunker, the failure of the stutter-proofing system has far more immediate and grave effects. A traditional life support system can be repaired. For instance, a failure in the CO2 scrubbers would pose a significant threat, but with replacement parts and tools, properly trained occupants could easily repair the system before they would feel any ill effects. In fact, almost any mechanical failure short of a full-scale environmental breach can be fixed as long as suitable repair materials and trained personnel are at hand. But by its very nature, the stutter-proofing is different. If it fails, everybody within its area of effect is immediately affected by the zero state and becomes frozen. In a permanent zero state scenario, that means they would have no opportunity to ever effect repairs. There's literally no time to react. The only exception would be personnel wearing an activated chronon harness, such as the striker suit, but given that repairing the stutter-proofing system is a highly technical, complicated process requiring an exceptional proficiency in the operation and engineering of chronon technology, this would be a scenario with a low probability of success. It is therefore of utmost importance that the lifeboat's stutter-proofing operates reliably and without faults, with multiple fail-safe systems, because if it ever fails, it's unlikely that it can be repaired or restarted. Accordingly, once the lifeboat protocol has been activated, there's no real way to deactivate it other than removing the chronon field regulator. This would be highly unadvisable, as so doing could not only disrupt the stutter-proofing, but more importantly, without the CFR, the lifeboat's rate of chronon particle consumption is increased by a vast margin, effectively reducing its potential operating time to a fraction of what is intended.
Unique advantages and risks. However, it's worth pointing out that even though the lifeboat operation has unique hazards, there are also unique advantages. One such advantage is provisions. A traditional survival scenario in a bunker typically involves a poor quality of meals due to obvious resourcing problems. Anything that spoils easily is out of the question. In a zero-state scenario, however, spoilage becomes a non-issue. Anything stored outside the stutter-proofed area remains in perfect condition. This advantage doesn't only apply to comestibles, but also makes the storage of medicine, volatile chemicals, and other similar articles far less of a problem than it otherwise would be. In fact, given the fact that the city of Riverport is vast compared to the relatively small number of people residing in the lifeboat, in theory, Monarch operatives could venture outside the lifeboat in chronon harnesses and actually enjoy freshly cooked meals simply by entering a restaurant and finding the ready-made dishes that have been prepared, remove them from the zero state to a stutter-proofed area, and enjoy them as hot and delicious as if they had been just prepared, which in fact they of course would be. To be clear, this is not a recommended activity, as it would be a foolish waste of resources to go after individual meals like that. The above scenario is mentioned here merely to illustrate the point. Even though the lifeboat has been designed to operate for decades of subjective time, it doesn't actually need provisions for that long. If the lifeboat's own reserves start to run low, a well-planned supply run into the city could easily result in a great deal of perfectly preserved supplies. Another advantage is that while the situation outside the lifeboat would be dire, people frozen in the zero state would not actually be dead. If a solution is found to the end-of-time scenario, everybody would resume their everyday lives, most likely with no awareness of time ever having stopped. However, it's hard to know what the exact psychological impact of that knowledge on lifeboat personnel will be. There's a real concern that the pressure of knowing that they have sole responsibility for the survival of the human race, and that there are billions of people outside of the walls of the lifeboat, helpless and unaware, frozen eternally in that last moment, may prove to be crushing for some. On the other hand, knowing that their loved ones are actually not dead and may be saved, and are in no distress or indeed even aware of the situation, may prove a powerful motivating factor that helps us eventually resolve the situation. Of course, the solution to the problem of a permanent zero state is not currently within our reach, and we expect that finding one will take subjective decades, if it is indeed possible. We can but try.
It's worth noting that since the people outside Lifeboat are indeed not dead, merely stopped, it should be possible for a team of personnel wearing chronon harnesses to exit the lifeboat, retrieve a person, and bring them into the lifeboat. However, I advise against adopting this practice. For the occupants, that should forever remain a theoretical scenario. Any situation in which somebody is brought in from the outside would cause undue stress on the occupants, who would at that point have to become acutely aware that their loved ones could be brought in, but since the lifeboat has limited space, this could never be allowed. That kind of psychological pressure would likely lead to friction and questions of favoritism, and ultimately increase the risk of mission failure.
Anybody here we can trust?
Fiona. She's my only remaining contact on the inside.
What about this Burke guy? He was under arrest in the same transport as me.
Jury's still out on Burke.
Monarch Chart. Head of Monarch, Paul Serene, creator of Monarch, believes end of time is inevitable, is building a survival program for select few. Division leads, Martin Hatch, Monarch spokesperson, head of security and PR, Serene's key advisor. Working against Serene? Dr. Sophia Amaral, head of research, specialist in chronon technology, only doctor trained to administer Serene's treatment. Intimate relations with Serene. Dr. Henry Kim, previous head of research, deceased. Key enforcers, Clarice Ogawa, Monarch dispatcher, allegiance to Martin Hatch, working against Serene. Gibson, head of security, Monarch enforcer, deceased. Carlos, leader of Reaper Squad, loyal to Martin Hatch, deceased. Potential allies within Monarch. Fiona Miller, chronon researcher, confirmed ally, working with Beth from inside. Liam Burke, Monarch fixer, has questioned Monarch agenda extensively, deemed Monarch traitor for assisting in Jack's escape. Charlie Wincott, Monarch hacker, history of allegiance to Martin Hatch, current loyalty unknown. Dick. Lifeboat document. Memo. Controlling the Riverport situation. From Clarice Ogawa. To Field Team Leads. I know the situation is fluid and things are progressing fast, but I want to reiterate our strategy for maintaining control of the city of Riverport. As you all know, we can't actually directly control the city. We don't have the manpower and we don't have the actual authority. It's therefore vital that we maintain a good relationship with the media and the local authorities and have them do much of the heavy lifting for us. Ideally, everything we do should be either undertaken by the authorities under our discrete direction, or in cases where we take action ourselves, backed by the powers that be, creating the illusion that Monarch Solutions is working in cooperation with legal authorities. Make no mistake, although we've been successful thus far, the situation is not stable and it can change quickly. If key parties in the city lose confidence in us and our ability to handle the crisis, our control will erode very quickly. Therefore, we must nurture this relationship even as we conduct our own operations, some of which involve considerable troop mobilization and combat action. This is a constant balancing act, and while I'm confident we can pull it off, there's no room for error. We can't afford to grow complacent and sloppy. Fortunately, we are well prepared for this contingency. Long before we reached this point, we established a good rapport with the mayor, Riverport PD, and other major authorities within Riverport, as well as most of the important media outlets. Our strategy is twofold. 1. Maintain control. It's imperative that we ensure that the city's various power structures remain under our control. This means maintaining a close relationship with numerous individuals and organizations, as well as manipulating the information at their disposal. While Charlie Wincott is unfortunately no longer working on this project due to unforeseen complications, he has set up powerful tools and procedures for scrubbing the internet and identifying and locating problematic situations and individuals. We're stationing people in key locations and maintaining control, often under the guise of advisors and consultants to people in power. They are ready to step in as required. Anybody working in these roles needs to be proactive and project a constant aura of helpful authority and dependability. Diplomacy is the order of the day, people. That's vital for maintaining certain fictions, such as Jack Joyce's culpability at the events at the university, etc.
2. Minimize conflict. That is to say, make sure that individuals, whether they're politicians, city officials, police officers, reporters, ordinary citizens, etc., suffer a minimal impact from our activities. If we have to use force, the situation needs to take place out of sight and remain entirely contained. Whether containment means misdirection, coercion, intimidation, bribery, or some other means depends on the circumstances, but it's vital that nobody's left in a position to complain. To be explicitly clear, this doesn't mean we can eliminate witnesses and cover it up. When people don't come home, others start to ask questions, so that has to be a last resort. I expect all supervisors to monitor their teams closely to ensure things stay on an even keel. I know most of our operatives haven't been trained in the soft touch, and I'll be blunt, the last thing we need is somebody thinking this is Afghanistan and smacking a civilian around. We're one YouTube video away from this whole thing blowing up in our faces, so we have to maintain our operational profile throughout. For all of these activities, we have a considerable budget. Monarch Solutions is very well off. We've been building resources for a long time, and this is considered a priority. So we can buy a lot of silence and cooperation from authorities and citizens alike. But that only works as long as those things are for sale, and the moment we're seen as a threat, that opportunity will disappear. If you see a problem, be proactive and call it in. Don't let anything run out of control or think it'll work itself out. We have to be sure. The situation can unravel faster than we think, and we have to coordinate our activities properly. Any questions or concerns, please contact me sooner rather than later. Transcript of Monarch Communications. Unknown Monarch personnel. HQ, come in. This is First Aid 1. We've got a situation here at the hospital. Over. Monarch Radio Commander. Go ahead, First Aid 1. Over. Unknown Monarch personnel. It's a fucking mess down here, HQ. Burke showed up for his wife like we thought. Gibson intercepted him. Burke wouldn't come quietly, so Gibson drew on him and, well, Gibson's dead. Burke strangled him with a power cord in full sight of half the hospital, so that kind of shit show. Over. Unknown Monarch personnel. Copy that, First Aid 1. We'll run with that on our end. Just tidy things up over there. Over and out.
Hey, Amy. What am I looking at here?
I've been recording Monarch communications with the radio that Beth left me. I made a compilation of anything that seemed like it might be useful.
How's it look?
The problem is quite simple, really. The power relay is down. You'll need to find a way to reset it up. There, where the light is. I'll lower the ladder for you.
What happened to the power relay?
A power surge occurred at 7 a.m. this morning, when the machine was activated.
7 a.m.? It's hours before we even got here.
Well, the numbers don't lie.
Okay, I guess I'm doing some climbing.
Sure. Saves me from volunteering.
Okay, The console here's got 2 red lights, 1 green one.
You'll have to reset the power to the 2 stations with the red lights before activating the relay. Both stations are located above the machine. Just follow the cables to the red lights.
Above the machine. The perfect place for a reset switch, Will. Okay, the first red light is now green.
Good. 1 more to go. I'm not sure if you can reach the second one that way. You may have to climb down and reach the other side of the machine.
You've got to be kidding me.
What is it?
This is all my stuff from our family home. Kept everything.
Guess you thought you might come back.
My artsy rebel phase.
Complete with a very rebellious how-to guide. I always wanted to try this, actually. Never had the time. Is that...
Yep. Will's personal psychiatrist. Want to give it a try?
I think that giraffe's holding enough baggage. Jack? You okay?
Yeah. What's wrong?
Toto. That's my signature.
You made this?
I've never even been here before.
That woman in the picture is you, isn't it? So...
Jack. There's something you should know. 1999. I was 8 years old, playing in my backyard, and a woman approached me, told me she was from the future. She gave me very specific details of events that would come to pass. She gave me this. Filled with dates, events, proof of it all. Jack, that woman.
It was you.
Everything I told myself would happen, did. Every detail, for better or worse, came to pass, and couldn't be changed. Our fate is laid out before us, Jack. Everything that happened to get us here, every sacrifice that was made, they're all a part of this path. And they can't be changed or undone.
Beth.
When we step in that time machine, you will see for yourself.